Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It's time now for another edition of Aging in Style with Vitale Wealth Management. Joining us now is President and owner Joe. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Lauren. How are you?
Good morning. We're happy to have you.
Thanks.
Before we get started, don't forget to download Joe's newsletter, Financial Vitals, for all the latest in market trends. You can just scan the QR code right now on your screen to get access. Now on to today's topic, how to start planning for retirement in your 50s. Starting to save for retirement while in your 50s may not be ideal, but it's never too late to start, of course, and never too late to start contributing to your future financial security. Joe, is it possible to still have financial security in retirement?
It is, absolutely. In their 50s, it's a little harder. So you really got to, and you never know what happens, whether it's divorce or, bad job or layoff.
Right.
And I've had people in their 50s who really have nothing. But if you can still get the 401k match and maximize it as much as possible, and if you get a decent job and you're putting away more and more, then you will have something. And that means you might have to delay or work into your 60s, of course, but that also gives you the opportunity to maximize Social Security and maybe file at 67 or 70. So it is still possible. But let's say if you did plan or you didn't have those befall you and you did have good retirement and you did have security. Yes, there's a lot of great ways to have security in retirement. The biggest thing is people don't know how. They're like, I was an engineer for all these years, or I was in accounting or finance, or just a superintendent or a worker, and I didn't. How do I do this? There are so many ways to have, we talk about that peace of mind, that sleep at night insurance, and have that financial security, but you need help with that, and that's what we're here for.
So next, what are tax advantages? Are these important for the majority of us?
Absolutely. A lot of people always, the fallacy is, I'm going to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement, right? And everybody says, well, and that's generally true, especially if you've got $150,000 a year income and you retire, you're on $30,000 or $40,000. So technically you are going to be. But what you don't realize is a lot of people who have the large 401ks, which is most people who've had the job for a long time. You'll see $1 million, $2 million just by putting it away early on. So now you say, well, I'm going to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement, but what they don't realize with required minimum distributions in your 80s and 90s, you're going to be at the highest individual tax rate because they want you to take that money out and pay taxes on it.
Right.
So we have to look at tax advantage. We have to look at tax deferred strategies, tax-free strategies. These are all things that we have to help implement to offset a lot of those big tax bills down the road.
So going back to retirement, what does lifestyle planning look like during retirement?
Oh, that's fun. That's the fun part. That's where you can say, all right, what are we going to do here? Where are we going to go? Are we going to RV? Are we going to full-time? We're going to go to Hawaii? Or we're going to go to Florida half the year? Or are we just going to stay with our kids and our grandkids? Everybody has their own lifestyle strategies, and my goal is, and my job is to make sure that they're able to have those. So that's part of what we do. What do you want to do? What are your dreams? What are your lifestyle challenges there? What do you want to do in retirement? And let's help make sure you get those, and make sure it's done a certain way to offset taxes and health strategies, because we don't know what happens with health down the road, so you have to prepare for those as well.
Yeah, the earlier you start putting money away, the earlier you can enjoy your retirement,
Exactly
right?
Right, yes.
Well, when it comes to inflation protection, is there truly a safe way to outpace inflation without lots of risk?
There is, especially, inflation historically is 2 to 3%, sometimes 3 to 4. And right now, the old strategy, or a lot of the brokers, everybody say, you got it, bonds is the way to go, you're going to do great with bonds. Well, historically they don't average a whole lot, but they're consistent income with those, and they're very safe. What you're finding now is, you still have some CDs that are paying 4 to 5%, which is higher than inflation, which is great and safe. You also have fixed annuities and fixed index annuities that are getting a guaranteed 5.5%. Guaranteed. Now, I can't guarantee market returns, but when you're talking about a safe guaranteed annuity, a 10-year 5.5%, my gosh, it's better than inflation. There's no risk, and you can still take money out every year if you need money. But of course, there's penalties if you break them early. But if you just need money to live on, a lot of my clients, as an example, you can get 5.5%, 6%, take out 10% a year, or just take out the interest every year, and you still have your principal after all that time, and you lived off the earnings. Great strategies out there.
Well, you mentioned this earlier. I want to go back to peace of mind, sleep at night insurance. How does this work for retirement planning?
Retirement is having that mailbox money coming in every month, right? So when you're working, you're used to having that paycheck come in. When retirement, how do you transition? Where's that mailbox money coming in? What if you don't have a pension? Well, you've got Social Security. So what we do is our job is to make sure we have that mailbox money coming in to give you that sleep at night peace of mind insurance. And what does that mean? Market corrections. We're going to have a 30% drop in the market here or there, or the market's not always going to go straight up. How do we have that money consistent? By making sure that you proper allocate. You have risk money, you have growth money, you have tax-free money, and you have secure money. And no matter what happens, like let's talk about Liberation Day back in April when the market dropped, right, with all the tariff news. Some people lost their minds. Not everybody. Most people, especially our clients, understood that these things happen. But we were taking $5,000 and $10,000 and $15,000 a month from some of our clients for them to live on and sending it to them every month. Well, we were able to pivot and go to a safe bucket and stop the distribution that month and go to safe bucket and have that money come over. My clients have sleep at night insurance because we have safe money available when market corrections happen or when market downturns happen. And to know that just makes you all sleep better and everything's wonderful.
These are good tips, good things to remember. Joe, what is the best way to maximize the compound interest and time value of our money?
Oh my gosh, earlier started the better, right? So remember, time value money, right, and compounding. Remember the rule of 72. Whatever your interest rate is, divide that into 72. That's how many years it takes for your money to double. So if you're getting a 5% rate of return, your money doubles every 14 years.
Okay.
If you're getting a 10% rate of return, your money doubles every 7.2 years, right? 12%, your money doubles every 6 years. So the better rate of return, the more compounding you're going to have. Well, we were just talking about this too, and this is one of the things, my daughter as an example, she's got a $20,000 old IRA. Well, we're going to convert that to a Roth, because if she's going to pay tax at 10% of that. Putting that into a Roth at 30 years old, if we put that into a growth account, aggressive growth account, she should average probably 10 to 12% rate of return. Well, that money's going to double every 6 years. So by the time she's 60 years old, that $20,000 is worth $640,000.
Wow.
Tax-free just by time value of money, compounding, and just doing it at an early age. And people don't realize that it's that easy without one extra contribution.
Very good to know. Why is it so important to have diversified income streams and different buckets? I know you talk a lot about this.
We did talk about that, yeah, because you have to have those diversity where if you've got everything in the market and the market goes down, you can't take it from the market. You've got to have the guaranteed bucket of money or the safe bucket of money. And everybody says, well, Joe, bonds are safe. Well, in 2022, which is just 3 short years ago, they were down 15% that year. And if you needed to take a big distribution for an emergency expense and you were all in the market or all in bonds, you'll never make that money back. So you have to have the safety where you've got either the emergency fund, the tax-free bucket, the tax-deferred bucket, but also the safe bucket. We use a lot of the tax-deferred annuities for that because, you know, if the market goes down, they're not affected. They may not get a return that year, but they're still there without risk. So we're able to take a distribution to offset the market corrections.
All right. Well, finally, what do our options look like when it comes to health care costs for retirement?
That's a big one, right?
This is a big one.
It's a big one. So at 65 years old, it's pretty easy. Everybody goes on Medicare, and they get the Medicare supplements, and it's pretty easy. It's easy to understand, easy to afford. But we have a lot of clients at 58, 60, 62 retiring, and it's like, my gosh, Joe, I still got 3, 4, 5 years. I got a private pay. One strategy is, of course, if the income is married filing jointly, if your income's under the $50,000, you'll qualify for all the Affordable Care Act, what they give you, right, credits, so you won't really pay much for health care. Of course, another one is you can have COBRA for a little while to bridge the gap, but it's very expensive. There are other ones that are Christian sharing programs. So there's like MediShare or Samaritan or Solidarity. These are all Christian healthcare programs where they're not health insurance, but it's a sharing program, and it's a lot more affordable. And I actually had one, you know, for years, and it worked great. And so that's what we use a lot. So that's one of the things we look at. We look at all these. We have people who help with all that. So regardless, there's ways, and we'll help with each way. We'll give you some options.
Well, if someone wants to browse these different healthcare options, where would you recommend they go?
Either give us a call or even look at, just Google, Google Christian health sharing. And make a call, get information. Sometimes there's pre-existing conditions, sometimes there's not. Like if you don't go to the doctor a lot, or if you don't have a lot of big needs, those are perfect because it's almost like a catastrophic and it doesn't cost much at all. But if my daughter, same thing, she had a situation when in the hospital, we didn't pay anything, you know, because it was sharing, everybody paid it, and we were good. So that's a great way to do it. But if you need the health insurance, then there's ways we can help with that as well.
Perfect. Well, Joe, you always leave us with lots of good information to take away, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Lauren. It's good to be here.
Before we go, don't forget to download his newsletter, Financial Vitals, for the latest market updates and information. You can also find more episodes of Aging in Style with more retirement tips on our website. Head on over to Features and click on the Aging in Style page on WNEM.com.